last week, they had things humming. If you're a defensive player, you may get overshadowed a little bit, but you're really buoyed by what your offense is doing.
Here we go. The final week of the NFL season. Week 17 is underway. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. So out come the Steelers now for their first drive. And here's a look at their leader, standing 6'4".
And what I enjoyed in preparing for this game was talking not just with the coaching staff, but with him as well. And I found it interesting that the coaching staff sees him one way, and he sees himself an entirely different way.
Yeah, one thing he said he's always working on, we know he's not bad at this, but his footwork, always wants to improve that, and that's something he's going to focus on here.
And what was so funny, what the offensive coordinator say right off the top, he's got great footwork. Love his footwork. So this guy is never satisfied.
Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9. Here's the offense, and we give you too much power here. We let you highlight the player. Why'd you choose Zeitler?
Because I think the big guys up front never get enough credit. Kevin Zeitler, a guard, tough, nasty. We've got to give him some love.
They'll run. This is Darrell Henderson. And, oh, he's going to be brought down by the face mask. Here come the flags. This is going to get him a first down. So that flag will cost him 15.
And it doesn't matter anymore how you get the face mask. Any part of it, that's going to be 15 yards.
And now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. Now a run with Henderson. And he'll take this one for about 4 up to the 40.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20. Because to me, that's the magic number. 20 points scored gives yourself you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
There's a ball thrown right side and complete. And he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. That one covers 24 yards. It's a first down. A nice job there, Charles. They picked up the blitz, were able to complete the pass.
That had the total feel of a quarterback in control. Red blitz, got him into the right protection scheme, so he doesn't get hit back there. He's got a chance to step up with supreme confidence and deliver it downfield for a nice completion.
There's a throw over the middle. It's taken in by his tight end. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. The Steelers able to pick up 18 yards there.
His position, and he's listed as a tight end, but he certainly doesn't run like one. And that's what we're seeing more and more coming into the league. Those guys who can run, make plays after the catch, and gain that additional yardage.
And using that speed there to turn it into a pretty nice little game. And he's eaten up at the line of scrimmage. Might have gotten a yard down to the 16. The numbers a week ago for Henderson. 19 carries, 78 yards.
And when he went over 1,000 yards last week, you know what it did for their offense? It gave them a true identity, because everyone's going to talk about this. The offensive line's going to take pride in it. Of course, the guy carrying the football will. But how about the coaching staff? When they go in to talk contracts, when they talk to reporters, hey, we had a 1,000-yard rusher this year. That means something in today's NFL.
2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. And what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
Looking to throw. Holly. He's got Freeman here. It's complete. And they'll get him down short of the first down, right on the 10-yard line. It's a gain of 5, and it'll be 4th down.
One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield. Well, after marching down the field, only getting 3 there, kind of feels like a win for the defense.
And it does. They'll go to the sideline feeling a lot better that they didn't give up a touchdown after the march against them. But if I were the offense, I wouldn't hang my head over that one. That's a good drive, and 3 points were put on the board.
Then he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line.
Come on, set. 18 Gator. Let's make these babies cry all the way back home, yo. Let's make these babies cry all the way back home. Hit it.
They'll run on first down. Fair. And not much. Maybe a yard up to the 29.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play. And they'll wind up getting this to the 37. Gain of 9. Well, if you're going to run the read option, typically, you've got to keep an eye on the defensive end.
And what does that mean? What are you looking for with a defensive end?
Well, you want to play off of what he does. If he collapses inside towards the running back, then you pull it and take it yourself outside in. If he stays outside, you go ahead and leave it with the running back. In this case, pulled it and got good yardage himself. Well, that was big right there because they're in the bottom 5 in the league and converting on third down. They needed that pickup in a big way.
There were two things they said they wanted to win in this game. One, the turnover battle, and the second, third down conversions. So they got one there. They'll look to throw here. Oh, a battle for it here, and this will be caught. 12 yards to pick up there. Good for a Raven first.
Almost not fair. The big guy running the corner route, being able to lean and push and get to where he wants.
So how do you stop it?
A lot of times you want to have a linebacker on him, a bigger body guy who can handle him physically. But a lot of times that doesn't work as well because his quickness often wins the route.
On first down, Byer. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. Call it a loss of 2 on the play. And that'll make it 2nd and 12. Plays like we just saw there. That's why they're up right now. And the defense, they're doing their job.
Yeah, it starts with the guys up front. So when you talk with GMs who are putting together a team, a lot of them say we're going to build from the inside out because if you control the line of scrimmage, you control the rest of the ball game. And that's what we're seeing here. They're actually playing in the offense's backfield.
And all the way in for a Ravens touchdown. Trenton Cannon with a lucky number 13 touchdowns now on the year. And the Ravens have taken the lead. Getting your back involved, what's the importance there in the passing game?
Well, oftentimes you can create mismatches because who's going to cover him? And you get him into space, which is where he likes to operate with the ball in his hands. Oftentimes makes people miss, gets that run after the catch, and off he goes.
And into the end zone. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he's able to get it across the 20, but not by much, as he's marked down at the 21-yard line. So with the Steeler offense on their way out, let's take a look at the playoff picture in the AFC. And this certainly confirms all the chatter, how big of a final weekend this is for the moment. The 6th seed is theirs, but it'll take a victory to officially lock that down.
I hear the excitement in your voice about this.
Or nervousness, both ways.
Either way, but you know, I've never met a player who didn't go into a game with a little bit of nervousness and played well and didn't play well. Because look, if you go in without that edge, and to this game has an edge to it, doesn't it? Then you're really not going to perform that well.
A throw out wide to QT, complete. And he will lose yardage on the play, back at his own 19-yard line. That'll set him back with a loss of 3 on the play. And that'll make it 3rd and 13.
They threw the screen to the perimeter, but to no benefit at all. Tackled behind the line of scrimmage for a loss of yardage.
Flag comes in. This might be a free play. Open man, Smith-Schuster, it's complete. And they nearly get this all the way to midfield. Mark him down at the 49. So, of course, they declined that there. They knew they had the free play. They got great yardage out of it.
It's kind of like when we were at dinner last night. You saw me reach for the check, so you ordered dessert on top of it, right? You say you had the free play.
Yeah.
Right? Already had what you needed. Go ahead and get a little more on top. I like it.
Here's a 1st and 10 now after they successfully drew him off sides. Here's Henderson. And across midfield he goes into Raven territory. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
The last run got 6, now 2nd and 4. They'll run for the first time with Devontae Freeman. And able to push forward for right around 3 yards down to the 42.
Brandon, all things considered, they have to feel pretty good about getting that type of a gain, considering the blitz that they just had against them.
This is 3rd and 1. Very likely 4-down territory, even if they don't get it, though. Now whistles here before the snap, and it looks like one of the Steelers may have moved. Maybe anticipating a blitz, and they jumped.
Yeah, and if we saw it, you know that they saw it. The bad guys might have been coming on that play. Had to pick them up, and they jumped.
Well, that's a tough, costly penalty, because now it makes it 3rd and 6 after the false start. Operating from the gun, Holly. Under pressure, and he'll go down. They'll sack him on what ought to be the final play of this first quarter. Steeler football here to begin quarter number 2. They are, however, facing a 4th down situation. And the kick's away as he angles this one for the sideline. And this one goes angling out of bounds, and it will be spotted inside the 30-yard line. And now Baltimore gets set to take the field. And thus far, the weather has not slowed this offense down one bit. They've looked good so far in the first half.
They certainly have. And think back to our meeting with the head coach. And we asked him, because we saw the forecast for this game, didn't we? We said, hey, have you prepared for this? And he talked about the different drills that they've done in adverse conditions, the wet ball drills, things of that nature. He said, I don't think it's going to slow us down much. We tend to handle it pretty well, and he's been right.
Officials so cognizant of that call nowadays, but that one looked pretty easy.
Yeah, you're right. They took out of their hands having to wonder whether it's a 5-yard or a 15-yard, inadvertent or not. Now, it's a lot easier. You see it, you call it.
Kill. Hey, turn it out. Deep grip.
Now a handoff here to his running back. A gain of 3, 2nd down.
What's the old expression, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? In this case, it's dust-covered pellets. It's no longer that old grass that we used to play on, right, and chew it up. Now we've got that artificial surface. You see the pellets go up. Still a nice play by the defense.
We got 3, fellas. We got 3. 5.
Here's a 2nd and 7. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Devin Bush in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now. For him on the year.
Come on, set.
The Steelers now in the nickel here on 3rd down.
Hey. Hey, watch the slant. Down.
They'll look to throw. And he's got his man out of the backfield. That's complete. It's a 15-yard pickup, but it'll lead to a 4th down.
Boy, they had a lot of real estate to make up there, but what a big-time play for them. Nice completion, excellent gain. Now they're in 4th and manageable.
Just a little short, though, of that marker. Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeouts. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this 2nd quarter. Vedvik now set to punt. Back deep for the Steelers, Ryan Switzer. He only punted twice in the win last week as he gets this one away. And this is going to hit the goal line and continue on into the end zone for a touchback. Out comes the Steeler offense now, ready to see what they can do here. And the magnitude of this game, everybody knows it. The fans, obviously the players and coaches, there's just with them a palpable buzz right now. They know they control their own destiny.
Win, and you're in. And I think every player wants that. I think every coach wants that. I haven't been an organization yet that wants to be in a game where they have to rely on other teams to get them to their goals. In this situation, it's very cut and dry. Win, and you're in the playoffs. That's their mission. That's their challenge. And you know they've chosen to accept it.
And what they told us is this has been the most focused week of practice we've had all year. You wouldn't expect any different.
Yeah, and you know, at the beginning of the season, you have multiple goals. They just have one now. Win the game.
A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete. Well, prior to that, he had hit his first 6 passes to start the game, so on a nice little run to begin.
It feels like this offense has carried its dress rehearsal into the game, because you do practice it, you do go through it, and in this case, it is clicking exactly like they drew it up.
And he'll get this one way up just shy of the 45-yard line. It's a gain of 20 and picking up the first. Catch number 100 for his career right there, and it's good enough to keep the chains moving.
Ready? 70, Indy. Double time, 4 down. Ready, go.
Henderson now on 1st and 10. And he was able to shed the tackle, but the reserves come in for the stop. Desmond Trufant there making the tackle.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable second down, a very solid gain on that play.
The first down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5. 2nd and 5. And that is incomplete here.
Oh, man, that was close. The opportunity to change momentum, big play, right in his hands, unable to come down with it.
A sigh of relief, no doubt, on offense if that fell harmlessly to the ground. They come up now 3rd and 5 following the incomplete pass. Back to throw. Holly. And the Raven pressure too much. Down he goes. Willie Henry muscled his way in for the sack.
And they're picking up right where they left off with the shutout that they pitched last week. A huge part of that, this pass rush. They know how to get after people.
Offensively, good luck finding some answers right now. Oh, and what a play on special teams here. This is going to be down inside the 5, all the way down at the 2-yard line.
And he's got to be fired up about that effort. I don't think he could have walked down and placed it any better than where he ended up putting the football. That was excellent.
Now the Baltimore offense heading back out onto the field. And they will begin with, should we call it, far from ideal starting field position, their own 2-yard line.
So what's your definition of ideal?
The 1-yard line on the other side of the field.
Yes, exactly right. So, yes, your definition is apropos in this case.
Give them 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
And while they hope to continue this drive, it's really already mission accomplished. They've given enough space now that they have to punt the ball. They've done so with that first run.
On 2nd down, Bear. And he'll get it up a little shy of the 15. They'll spot him down at the 14-yard line. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking them for that much space to rumble.
Now a fake on the give here as they try the run-pass option. And he works it across the 25 before being tackled. That one good for 13 and a Raven first down.
I like watching the wide receiver screen because it's a real teamwork play. Because guess what? The guy catching the ball, he'll get all the credit. But how about the people up to block in front of him? Either fellow receivers or offensive linemen. That makes that play a really nice timing play. And sometimes it can break big.
Now here's a throw right side taken in by his tight end. It's a gain of 22 as we tick towards the 2-minute warning.
And there's another completion to the tight end. And let's face it, it is hard to overthrow a 6'6" target.
It is indeed. Quarterbacks like their speed guys. They like that huge 6'6" target that they've got in him.
They really do, and it reminds me of what one great tight end told me once. He told his quarterback, just make sure you throw it up there. You know, kind of like put up on the top shelf where the kids can't get it.
2 minutes to play in this first half. 7-3, our score. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. Stepping up, he'll try and run. They get 14 on that one. That's good for a Baltimore first down.
Well, partner, for a few years there, we thought this read option play was going to take over the whole NFL. It seemed like everyone was using it, but it has been scaled back considerably in the last few seasons, mainly because people are worried about their quarterbacks getting hit. But when you call it at the right time and you use it properly, you see the type of gains you can get. A nice chunk of yardage there by the quarterback.
Now this one over the middle into the hands of his tight end, complete. 12 yards to pick up there, good for a Raven first.
When this offense can get their tight ends involved, they can move the football. Here, a nice route, able to look it in, and picks up the first down.
They'll look to throw here on first down. And this is caught. Touchdown, Baltimore. 25 yards for the touchdown as the Ravens push further out in front. And that'll give them a 2-score lead here, but I'm looking ahead. They just want to hold it for the final moments here in the second quarter. They don't want to give up anything on the other side.
No, not at all, because if they don't, it almost had the feel of an imposing their will score. And right now, they want to make sure they keep that and carry it into the second half.
Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Pittsburgh's offense now heading back out onto the field. And it's been very much a slow start for them. 3 drives and just the 3 points, CD.
Yeah, if you're into the points per drive ratio, that answer is 1. And that's not going to get it done in a ball game. They've got to find a way to finish these drives in end zones, not having balls go through goalposts.
Open man completes it to Smith-Schuster. Now the Steelers use the first of their 3 timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. They'll come up now 2nd and 4 from the 31. 2nd and 4. Throwing middle, but it's incomplete. James Washington was the intended target, and it's 3rd down.
It's been my observation there's been a nice variety of play calling defensively. You and I often talk about an offense's ability to keep a defense off balance with what they're doing. I think the converse has been true in this game.
I think you're right. They seem to have gone nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Jordan Evans racking up sack number 12 for him on the year.
I'm starting to feel for that quarterback back there. I mean, you know me. Normally, don't have a lot of empathy for the QB, right? In this case, definitely. He's been on constant duress this entire game. I don't know how he's surviving back there.
And to think, there's still a long way to go in this football game. And he gets it away, a directional kick going toward the sideline. And no return possible here as they angle this one out of bounds. The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going. You've got under a minute to go here until halftime. You got the good-sized lead. No need to do anything crazy.
No, there really is no need to do anything crazy. The smart play, go ahead and take your lead into the locker room and then try and add to it in the second half. But there's a part of me that looks at this and says, first half going my way, I have a little bit of a cushion. Let's go ahead and try and extend things. If you've got some good plays drawn up, you might want to think about them right here.
A 3-yard loss to start the drive. They'll look to make that up and then some on 2nd and 13. 2nd and 13. He's going to rifle one deep left side. And that'll be incomplete. Good protection that time, and they couldn't hook up on the long one. Now it's 3rd down.
Well, partner, they're not content to run this one out as we head towards the half, trying to hit a big chunk play right there and add to their score.
Yeah, this is a confident group. At the very least, they're thinking field goal.
Yeah, and I don't blame them one bit. I don't think you sit on the ball going into the half when you have a chance to put some more points on the board.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Holloway. That's good for a Raven first down, 15 yards there.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. But slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. On play action, they'll throw. He's going to float this one deep right side. And that'll be incomplete with 11 seconds remaining now. So line of scrimmage still the 39 on 2nd and 10. They just do get the playoff as he'll look to throw. Pressure from his right, and he goes down hard, flat on his back. So we've reached halftime. Due to time constraints, we move you forward in today's broadcast to the beginning of the 3rd quarter. The final 2 quarters of the NFL regular season are upon us as the second half of Week 17 is underway. This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards, up to the 27-yard line. Out come the Ravens now. They'll go on offense first here in this 3rd quarter. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle it. And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. T.J. Watt in there to bring him down, and that is sack number 17 for him now on the year. Coming up now on a 2nd and 15 following that sack. 2nd and 15. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down.
We've seen good cover skills on display throughout this game, really from both teams. And there's another nice example there of them making it difficult to complete a pass.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. They'll set up to throw. And he fires one that's intercepted. Isaiah Oliver with the INT. And he brings it back to right around the 26-yard line. He's had a fantastic rookie season, made a lot of lovely throws, but that wasn't one of them.
Well, we got to give him one, don't we? I mean, with the year he's having, a lot easier for he and his teammates to accept that throw. Because for the most part, what they've seen has been pretty sensational.
They'll run on 1st down. It's Henderson. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8. 2nd and 2. 8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on 2nd and short.
First play of the drive, let's give credit all around. Excellent blocking, but the guy carrying the ball, he was the finisher. A really nice run.
And he'll take it down here just shy of the 15 at the 16-yard line. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
Off the play fake. Holly. Blitz coming, and down he goes.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Now, following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a 2nd down and 17. Looking to throw. Holly got an open man. It's Washington. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down.
Timing is everything, and they work on this cut all the time. They work on all the timing patterns, and this time it paid off for them. Worked him to the center of the field, cut it to the outside, ball's delivered, gets both feet down for the completion.
On third down, Holly. Got an open man, it's QT. And they work this near the 5. He'll be stopped at the 6. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. First and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. Back to throw. Holly. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's 2nd down.
When you got your backs in the shadow of your goal line, you've got to be physical in that situation because there's not a whole lot of space, not a lot of wild plays that can be run there.
That's put up or shut up time. Defensively, nice job just to make sure they didn't complete it on that play. And the hole closes quickly here. He can fight only to about the 4. So a decent deficit at this stage in the second half. 4-down territory?
No doubt about it. There's not a chance that he hasn't looked ahead and said, okay, if we gain yardage on this play, this is what we'll do going forward. If we lose yardage, this is the play call that I'll have ready.
Meanwhile, on third down, they take a shot at the end zone, but it's incomplete.
Let's give this defense some credit now. They let the guys get downfield. But when push came to shove, they stood their ground, and now they'll likely force a field goal attempt.
And they're going to fake it. He wants to throw it here. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. They pass up the 3, fake it. It doesn't work. And instead of having a 1-score game, they'll remain 2 scores down. Well, I see what they were trying to do there. You pop up your holder, roll him out. You got the option to run or pass. Just didn't work.
Not at all. And the communication was excellent defensively to make sure that receivers were covered as they escaped from the line of scrimmage, because that's supposed to be a surprise to everyone, and that's how they get free. People forget their assignments on defense. That didn't happen. And think about the guy rolling out with the football, looking for an open person. No one there.
Helpless feeling.
Helpless, because that gap between you and defenders now is going to close and close quickly.
And the first play of the drive there is incomplete.
Well, he'll definitely say that that's one he should have held on to. But when you're playing in elements like this, sometimes those bullet passes, those ones with a little bit of pace on them, they can be difficult to hold on to.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10.
Come on, boy. You better be ready. Don't be scared of it. Get it.
2nd and 10. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And this one will be taken up. They'll spot it right at the 7. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's 3rd down.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
He rifles one that's intercepted. Isaiah Oliver with the INT. And he's in for 6 and a Steeler touchdown. Well, we know this defense has athleticism. Spots like that prove us right.
I love the way that you spotlighted the athleticism, because you and I both know the best athletes on the field, they play on defense.
I don't know. I was a kicker. You got to remember that now.
Come on.
Fine. Gets it off to Freeman. And this one will wind up with him losing yardage. Back to the 4-yard line.
I know they didn't tack on the 2 points, but I liked their attempt. After the interception return for a touchdown, I was thinking to myself, forget kicking it, go for 2, and they did.
Well, yeah, and everybody's scrambling. Maybe you catch the defense on their heels. They weren't ready to be out there.
Yeah, it's almost like a sudden change, right? There's a turnover, you take it away, they stuck it in the end zone, keep the momentum going. Give credit to the defensive guys for rallying and stopping that 2-point attempt.
The Ravens offense now, they get ready to head back on the field.
Go! 60 outlaw. Hey, we got 4. We got 4 down. 4 down.
On first down, Fire able to shake free for about 7 up to the 35.
Running lanes were at a premium in the first half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big second half.
Second and 3. And on the left sideline, he caught it, but out of bounds, according to the head linesman. Incomplete, so the ball a little late getting there, and it's third down. So the incomplete pass on the last play, and that leads us to a 3rd and 3.
Hey, exit.
He'll look to throw. And that is incomplete.
Oh, man, for him to be that wide open and drop it. Sometimes you have just too much time on your hands, right? You end up thinking way too much, and your hands get shaky.
And yes, he's a tight end, but that's a catch he should have made. The offense is not leaving the field. They're going to stay out and go for it on 4th and 3. They'll try and throw for it here. It's complete. Swings it out to his running back. And out across midfield down to the 45. A big pickup there. 20 yards as they convert on 4th.
We can talk all we want about football being a game of strength and brawn. It's also a game of mismatches, and they're trying to create one there, getting it to their back out of the backfield to make a bigger play.
As we often say, get it to him in space, let him use his leg.
Yeah, if he can get it, Matt.
And the Steeler pressure too much here. He's going to go down. T.J. Watt in there to get him, and that is now sack number 18 on the season for him.
Well, someone's closing in on the league lead in sacks. He came into the game in the top 5. Now you add 2 more to his total.
After the sack, it's 2nd and 19, and the road gets a bit tougher from here.
They'll
They'll drop the throw. He's going to fire one deep over the middle. And this is going to wind up incomplete. The coverage there too strong on the deep ball, and now they face a 3rd down. And Charles, got to like what this defense has been able to do these last couple of plays.
Yeah, they get the sack on first down, then they force the incomplete pass. Now they're just a play away from getting the football right back, but it's a big play. They've got to hold up.
They'll set up a throw. And he's going to go down. They sack him back at the 42. T.J. Watt in there for the sack, and he's closing in on the all-time record. That's number 19 on the year.
Brandon, what I remember most about playing with guys who knew how to rush the passer, they would just tell you, just cover people for me just long enough for me to get there. And that's exactly what happened on that play.
Let's go.
And for an offense that is struggling, this is not where you want to start from. Great punt.
Fantastic punt. And for all those who wonder, what do punters do during the course of practice each and every day? The best ones do what we just saw there. Work on positioning the football and helping their team.
And this will be a gain of right around 3 from the 7 out to the 10-yard line. 3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. Looking to throw. Holly looking for his tight end on the corner. It's complete. And he works it across the 25 before being tackled.
The beauty of route running is it doesn't matter what position. Everyone's doing the same thing. In this case, tight end, selling the vertical route. Get the defensive back on his heels, break off for the corner. With good timing, you get a completion, as we just saw there.
And he finds a man with a crossing route. Call that a very strong gain of 24. This quarterback now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's 1st and 10. From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. And it's complete. He gets this one to Washington. Four yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6. Back now in Baltimore. It's the Steelers with the football, but trailing here as we get going in quarter number 4.
Ready, ready.
2nd and 6. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete. Defensively, you said coming in earlier in the broadcast, the magic number was 20 points for you. That's what you thought they would have to hold this offense to, or less than that. And, wow, they've done that in a big way, haven't they?
Not only have they done it, they put themselves in a great position to win this one because holding them down was paramount. If they could get it done, well, guess what? We see the end result. Right now, they have their eye on victory.
And leading here in the 4th. The Steelers picking up 15 yards there and a first down. And he's top 5 in the league in terms of receiving yardage because of plays like that. What have you seen from him on film that you like so much?
Well, I'll strip away everything else and get to what we call the moment of truth. When the ball's arriving and there's a defender there, he just comes down with the ball. He competes and takes it away. Great hands, great ability to finish the catch.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. Line of scrimmage, the 31 as they line up 2nd and 10.
Switch it, switch it, switch it. Come on, switch it. Hit it.
Throwing again. Pollard. Incomplete, almost intercepted. They haven't picked him off yet. Would have been a great time for the first, but instead it's 3rd down. Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
The pressure drops off as they'll look to throw. He's got Freeman here. It's complete. And they'll get him down about 3 yards short of the first. 7 yards on the play, and that's going to bring up a 4th down.
So much about this game is just understanding situations and then having to execute, isn't it? Guard the first down sticks. Don't let them get there, and they rallied and made the tackle.
One score down. Here we go. They're going to go for it here on 4th down. On 4th down, Pollard. And he'll find Washington. That's complete. And he'll be brought down with the first down and a late flag here, too. And he may get a few more tacked on for good measure. Well, when you're leading in the 4th quarter, that's not the penalty you want.
Not at all, and now your discipline comes into question. Having poise this stage of the game, you can't have those kind of plays.
So now then the penalty's got him set up with a 1st and goal. Here's Henderson pushing and fighting his way in for a Steeler touchdown. Darrell Henderson with touchdown number 8 on the year. And the Steelers are going to retake the lead. All right, now a big 2-point conversion attempt still to come. They'll try and throw for it. And look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. Anthony Averett picks it. He's at the 50, 30, the 20, 10, 5, and he takes it all the way back. It's a pick 2, if you will, as that play backfires in a big way. So we're back to a 1-point game now as the kickoff comes. This is taken at his 4. And a nifty return there as he's all the way up past the 40-yard line.
Now that's the kind of return you're looking for. To get to that spot on the field, that allows you to do a lot of things on offense.
The Ravens heading out on offense as we look at the playoff picture in the AFC. And for them, it's no longer a question of will they make the playoffs. They've clinched the division title. The question, can they hold on to that number 1 seed?
And this is where the mental fortitude comes to play, doesn't it? Because now you're not just the coach talking about it, it's team talking about it to each other, supporting each other, carrying each other along, because having that number 1 seed means everything in the NFL.
It does. So even though the division title's clinched, shouldn't take the foot off the gas.
No, not at all. Play it all the way through. I think we've seen that in recent years in the NFL. The teams that play and play to win each and every game, they're the ones to deal with in the playoffs.
And they're going to have themselves another first down as the tackle's made at the Steelers' 30.
Slant route's effective no matter who's running the route and catching the ball. But when you have a receiver of that stature, you have to be a little bit more precise throwing it. You don't have the same catch radius with the bigger targets.
Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it. Under pressure, and he will go down. Sacked back at the 38. T.J. Watt, it's his 20th sack of the season as he continues what could be a record-setting campaign. Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on second down. And this will go as a gain of 7 as he gets it to the 30-yard line.
Oh, man, that wasn't far from breaking in a big way into the secondary. Read option, quarterback kept it. And while he didn't get a first down, he did get a nice chunk of yardage. Only a nice tackle prevented it from maybe going all the way.
Here we go.
The Ravens on third down, lacking much success, just 2 for 7 to this point. This is 3rd and 10. He'll drop to throw. That is caught right at the 10-yard line. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. Big hook up there, forced to throw it on third down. The connection's going to keep the drive alive and also keep the clock moving.
Yeah, and from a defensive perspective, didn't get a sack, didn't knock the ball free, didn't break up the pass. The clock keeps running on you. You're in a dire situation now.
And finding room to work, he's down to the 2-yard line. A good pickup there, 7 yards, and it's going to be 2nd and goal now.
I know that every now and then we get in those meetings with coaches, and you almost want to roll your eyes when they talk about staying on schedule when they're moving the football. But would you say a 7-yard run is ahead of schedule?
4th quarter with a lead, you love that, don't you?
No doubt about it, because staying on schedule is trying to get 4 downs on first down. They did that plus 3.
If nothing else, they've already taken a couple minutes off the clock here already as they come up 2nd down. 2nd and 2. And that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on 3rd down.
That's very well timed there defensively because it's not a bad throw, but the collision came at the exact time he was reaching to bring in the football. Really, really well done.
Decent offense, just better defense. I think you're right. This is 3rd and 2. Maybe the biggest play in this foot. And it's intercepted at the goal line. Read it well, and it's picked. He's at the 50. He's at the 30, 20, 10. And he brings this one back. It's a pick 6 for a Steeler touchdown. This game, it's been defensively oriented on both sides, so I guess it stands to reason that the play of the game comes on defense.
So it's my kind of game. You know that.
That's right.
Anytime we have
That's
a
right.
defensive battle, but that, as you said, it stands to reason that's the way the game tilted. Someone had to make a big play, and the way the defenses were dominating, that's exactly what we got.
They'll look to throw, and he's got it. So the 2-point conversion is good, and they add on to their 4th quarter lead. And they turn the pick 6 into a pick 8 with that 2-point conversion.
I love how you upsell. That is outstanding right there. What a big-time play. Big switch in how this game was going, and then they capitalized with a little bit on top.
And a good effort on the return there. Gets him across the 30 to the 33-yard line. The Ravens offense now, they get set and head back onto the field. And last time, decent field position through the pick 6. Obviously costly.
But they can't afford to just bunker in now. All right? Good field position means go ahead and attack on offense. Try and press the advantage a little bit. They just have to be better with the football on this possession.
So that didn't bother you too much last time?
No, because it's exactly what you're supposed to do. You can't have good field position and not try to take advantage of it. Sometimes the defense makes a good play, too.
2nd and 9 now. He's going to find his running back. It's complete. Give him 7 on the play, and they're going to have a 3rd down.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
This is 3rd and 2. Maybe the biggest play in this football game.
I'm coming after you. I'm coming after you.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. We've got a one-score game with inside of 2 minutes remaining. So it's Raven football here as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over.
Go, go.
He's back to throw. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's second down. I guess you can't be afraid to take those chances late in the game. He tried to fit that one in there. Nice job, though, defensively.
But to your point, it was a nice job of knocking the ball away. But you're also right. You can't be afraid to take those chances. That means your guys going downfield to catch the ball, they've got to elevate their game and come down with these in order to keep your offense moving.
And nowhere for him to go again. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage. That's it. Call it no gain on the run there, and now they'll be looking at a third down.
Partner, you've got about 20 coaches on your payroll, but there's 60,000 of them in the stands. I don't think any of them like that play.
And the later we go, it's starting to sound like 100,000 in here. He'll look to throw. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And they're going to have themselves another first down as the tackle's made at the Steelers' 24-yard line.
Okay, there's 3 timeouts left, right?
Think you got to use one here, don't you?
No doubt about it. I'd use one right here.
So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this second half. Here's 1st and 10. Back to throw. Steps away to his left. And he'll go out of bounds in the red zone just inside the 20. Nice work to get 7 out of that, and it's second down.
Okay, he's not going to get the first down, but this is still a nice job of buying some time and then running to get to the sideline and get out of bounds and avoid the big hit.
I'm ready.
Crunch time, defense.
A first carry for Trenton Cannon. He will push his way down to about the 14. Call it a gain of 3, but not enough to move the sticks. It'll be third and about a foot or 2.
I know they got a little yardage there, but I'm not sure their investment is right. They're still running the football, and I'm not sure there's enough time to continue to do that.
One more time, it's Cannon. And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4. Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeouts as they get it with just 19 seconds left on the clock. A looming decision to make on the conversion, down 7, but first things first, they need to score as they come up on 1st and goal.
Rock it, rock it. Shoot.
Now a give, right side, there, and he'll get in. Touchdown, Baltimore. A great play there with time running out as they can now even this game here in the 4th quarter with the extra point.
And while it appears the heavy lifting was accomplished by scoring the touchdown, they're still down 1. That extra point is not a gimme.
A very important extra point there, up and good, and we may very well be headed to overtime. So here comes the kickoff now, all even here in this 4th quarter. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And with time a factor here late, he'll just take a knee, and they'll start things out at the 25. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. They have a little bit of time here to get into field goal range. Not much. A tie game, you don't want to do anything crazy, right?
I agree with you on that one. Risk reward, okay? If you go for it, what is the absolute reward on this? But the risk is probably greater. Run the clock out, get to overtime, and try and win it there.
All right, we'll see if they do just that. Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5. Second and 5. Complete to Washington. And he takes us up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. So now with 6 seconds remaining, we get a timeout on the field.
152 fighter. Now.
On 1st and 10, Holly, he's going to loft one deep left side here. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete. So 4 quarters wasn't enough, and we are off to overtime. No change there. It's a little teaching moment here. Overtime rules. Remind us how this goes, partner.
Okay, so in the past, we had sudden death. First team to score wins, but no longer. Now, if the team receives the ball, scores a touchdown, they win the game. If they kick a field goal, though, or don't score, the other team gets a possession. And after both teams get a possession, then we're into sudden death. First team to score wins the game.
So a tie ball game here as the kick's away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. They're set for their first drive here in overtime. And this is where the crowd can really become a factor.
They've had to battle it all day, but I know what you're saying. In overtime, that gets doubled, doesn't it? At least, because now the crowd really wants to be involved and help their team. And that first drive can dictate the whole thing, because they know if this team takes it downfield and scores a touchdown, it's game over.
It's been loud in here so far. Well, they had the run for no gain. Now they'll try again from the 25 on 2nd and 10. Now a first throw here in overtime. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's 3rd down.
Well, it's easy to see when we review this that the ball needs to come out quicker, because if you don't throw it right on the break, you bring a crowd of people into the equation.
And that's why it got knocked away there. To throw on 3rd down. Holly. Oh, and it's intercepted. Anthony Averett picks it, and they take possession of the football and have it at the 36-yard line. A costly mistake here in OT.
And you know what they say, when you throw an interception like that in overtime, you don't usually get a chance to throw a second one. I mean, I'm not sure the analytics on it. Let's ask Marvin, our statistician, to ring that down for us. That's typically how coaches and teams feel about it. If you throw one, you likely cost yourself the game.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. They'll try and start this drive in the air. Going to throw right side here, complete. And he'll go out of bounds inside the 15-yard line. A good pickup there, 21 yards. And you definitely could make the case we might not even be in overtime had he not thrown 3 interceptions in regulation. But looking better here so far in OT.
Yeah, and when you think about what a coach is thinking at that point, because normally you've thrown 3 picks during the game, you might craft your play calling to be a little more careful. Not in this case. The green light still on for him.
Now a fake on the give here as they try the run-pass option. And he'll be brought down this time at the 5-yard line. A good gain again. That's now 31 yards combined on those last 2 plays. He's having a big game through the air, and sometimes those smart decisions just dump it off. That's how you continue to have big games through the air.
I agree totally. That's a great analogy, a great way to put it, because he doesn't get too greedy where everything has to be pushed downfield, trying to create big plays that aren't there. You dump it off and take that nice gain, and things add up, and now you have the kind of game he's having.
And he's into the end zone for the touchdown and the game winner in OT. Partner, a great game that we got to see and making it extra special. Not only did I get 4 quarters with you in this one, I got some overtime, a little whipped cream on top.
Look at you, tried to make this whole thing palatable.
I just want you to pay for my meal later.
You really just wanted 4 quarters, what you wanted. But how much fun was that? We had that type of a game where we got us to overtime, and then we get the dramatic ending to finish things off as well. What a game.
So for the Ravens, they'll wrap up the campaign an impressive 15-1. And now they'll have the week off as they get set to go after a Super Bowl title. Meanwhile, for Pittsburgh, despite the loss here, they're going to wind up with a very